Daniel Jones and the 2-0 Indianapolis Colts head out to the land of Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans, an 0-2 organization that does have a ton of hope. Why? Because of their freakily talented quarterback in Cam Ward. This kid is the real deal. Have they lost the first two games of the season? Yes, but have we liked what we have seen from Cam Ward? The performance he had against Denver was the completion percentage what you wanted it to. No, but your first game against the Denver Broncos, who were the third best defense in football a year ago, third least amount of points given up per game, have to have liked what you saw, especially when there was no semblance of a run game. Wide receivers were dropping passes for him, doing him absolutely no favors on the day. But you have to like what you've seen so far from the defense from that first game against Los Angeles Rams. Don't like what you saw overall, giving up 33 points, but you hung in there. They were in this football game. Tennessee Titans were within striking distance, had a chance of really flipping this game the right way that they wanted it to go. Just unfortunately, the Rams were able to pull away, and you could see the quality of roster. When you're a team that's picking first overall, you just don't have the horses that another squad does, and Matthew Stafford showed us all that he's still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He's healthy. He's got Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, one of the best wide receiver duos in football, easily to throw the football to. Now for the Indianapolis Colts, and this, I just can't stop smiling thinking about this because I love the comeback stories where you have the ultra-talented, the Daniel Jones, who was such a great player coming out of college, and the ability to threaten teams with his legs, the arm, the accuracy. I've seen him play one time in person. It was a Bears and Giants game back in 2019. And the first thing I noticed when he was warming up, throwing the football in front of me, he throws a beautiful ball. He spins it very well. And with the weapons, a Michael Piitman, a Josh Downs, it just gives me a segue to say, there's a podcast out there. Josh Downs is on it with his brother Caleb Downs, who is probably the best defensive player in college football. Daniel Jones sits down. They're virtually talking about the team and the aspect being 2-0, and it's enthusiastic. You got to learn a little bit about ball and hear Daniel Jones, who a lot of people call it robot. I highly recommend. After this video, I just recommended it. You can't click off of this because I recommended it now. But check that out. That's great stuff. Daniel Jones and talking with the Downs brothers. But for Indianapolis, they're 2-0. They've done a great job so far this season establishing Jonathan Taylor. Not establishing the run, establishing Jonathan Taylor. Because there's a mentality when you say, we have the best player on the field, we believe in our guy, and we are going to give him the football as many times as it takes. You saw the Atlanta Falcons do this against the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday Night Football this past week, where they just said, look, we've got the best player on the field. He's more athletic than your guys. He's faster. He makes the right cuts. And not just do we have Jonathan Taylor, we've got Tyler Warren. Thank you, Chicago Bears, for letting us get Tyler Warren, the All-American out of Penn State, the reception machine. This kid is so creative to find space to get open. Is he a Travis Kelce in the way that he moves? No. But he can block his butt off. This kid fights for every single yard when he catches the football, running over people, first downs. You just love to see a young player like this already get 16 targets through 2 games. He is a very large threat that the Tennessee Titans are going to have to account for early in this game. So you want to talk about a team with balance and why Daniel Jones has looked this good early and why I believe that Indianapolis Colts have a great chance to win this game because of that balance. You get Daniel Jones and play action and Jonathan Taylor, and you can establish that run, and Tennessee has to defend it. They have to come up and play it, and then right behind it, you've got Tyler Warren on a boot, on a crossing route, on a stop route, heading to the sideline, an 8 to 12 yard out. He has such experience running a different set of combinations because of the coordinator. Andy Koldnicki, the offensive coordinator last year for the Penn State Nittany Lions, was so creative. You rarely see a type of a guy that has these types of formations and pre-snap motions where they're getting manufactured opportunities for Tyler Warren to touch the football, you can't really say enough about the impact that has on a young player to have the confidence to come into the league. And just like Taylor believed, like, I might be the best football player on this field any given time. Just make me show it. Allow me to show it. Get the football in my hands. The lean here is going to be with the Colts. The young quarterback in Cam Ward. These ones are exciting because when you have an AFC South matchup, both teams are wanting it. Teams that fall to 0-3 have never won a Super Bowl. Are the Colts a Super Bowl team? Most likely not. There's a lot of great teams in that conference, a lot of great quarterbacks. Are the Titans a Super Bowl team? Right? They're the team that's in danger of going 0-3 on the year. Team, 0-3 said, has never gone to the Super Bowl. Less than 3% chance to make the playoffs. Probably not. But this is about the direction. Is Daniel Jones the guy going forward? I think a lot of Indianapolis Colts fans, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to rain on your parade talking about the Super Bowl, but we're just talking about the game here in a sense of, like, Daniel Jones, the way he's looked, can this be our franchise guy? Like, marrying him with Shane Steichen and that experience that Daniel Jones had there in Minnesota and Kevin O'Connell, the quarterback whisperer, is this guy just, is it clicking for him in a sense that maybe it did in the way that it did for Sam Darnold, and now here in Indy, the exact same thing can happen? I'll tell you this much, it helps for Indy when you've got a guy like DeForest Buckner, when you have Zaire Franklin, one of the best backers in football behind him, Kenny Moore still roaming around, you've got Latu on the edge. They've got players now on that defense. People sleep on the Indianapolis Colts, right? They were giving up points last year and they were losing games. But they were a Jonathan Taylor not dropping the ball at the goal line away from maybe being a playoff team. That's there, I said it out in the open. But look, we have to, because I could not believe my eyes still. And I have to bring it up because I'm going to continue to bring it up until Jonathan Taylor carries his way to the postseason to get the Colts back to the playoffs. Football in the NFL is better when the Colts are better. Now let's throw it back to Tennessee because we got on a rant there about Indy and their potential, and even mentioning the word Super Bowl, which I bet fires up a lot of Colts fans. They've got that 19-year drought now after they beat Chicago. But the Titans, Calvin Ridley, we got to be better. We have to get open for our young quarterback. Have to find a way. I mean, that Colts defense is good. You need to create separation and give a target for your quarterback in Cam Ward. It is very important that you do that from a standpoint. 57 yards, 6 targets, 3 catches. This is a 9-target type of guy. 86 yards in the tub. Alec Manor. One of the most dominant performances you will ever see in college football. I believe that's why he got drafted. His play against Travis Hunter. He's in the division. You guys all know him well. Stanford on a Saturday night football game. Stanford was down, I think, 27, 29 points at half. They come back and beat Colorado. A.O. Manor had 265, 3 touchdowns. I think all of them might have been on Travis. He got drafted. Let's see some of that. Let's see some of that. And what about the tight end? The kid out of Texas that stiff-armed Caleb Downs. The only missed tackle I've ever seen Caleb Downs, who I think might be the best-born natural tackler on the face of the planet. The only missed tackle I've ever seen him involved with was Gunnar Helm, who pushed him over in the college football playoff semifinal game last year. Gunnar Helm kind of pointed at him and gestured. It wound up being a 15-yard penalty the other way late in that game. But get the tight ends involved. This is the game of the tight ends. Both teams really will try to establish the run. The Titans did a decent enough job. Over 4 yards a carry is a good job against the Los Angeles Rams, who I've got as a top 5 defense in football. Man, they just are looking to take that leap. It's incredible. But the Tennessee Titans fought their butt off, and if you're Indy and you're already overconfident, do not be, because this thing can click in a second. Cam Ward can go off and have 316 yards, 3 touchdowns through the air, a touchdown scrambling like we saw at Miami. He has the talent to go out there and do that if we see Ridley get separation. We see Gunnar Helm get targets in the middle of the field. They present a challenge for a guy like Zaire Franklin that's not just able to come down on the run. And Tennessee is truly, with Callahan, able to come out and have the play action to set up the pass. That's huge. That's why you have to run the football, so that you have larger windows in the intermediate levels of the field, because the linebackers are on their heels, they're hesitating, and that leaves open zones for guys to come through and be able to get targeted. Now, what do I think of this game? I do believe the Colts win by a decent margin. I have them winning 24-16. They are favored in this game. I originally had it being 2 scored, but when I went back and looked at what they did against the Rams, I was like, wow, this team's they're fighting their tail off. Fighting their tail off against Los Angeles Rams. In week 1, they did the same thing against the Broncos. They're close to getting a win at some point. Can they do it against the Colts? Certainly, they'll have a chance. You don't have to motivate people a whole lot to go out there and be physical against a divisional opponent. But for Indy, Jonathan Taylor, Daniel Jones, keep doing your thing. Don't turn the football over, please. Use your athleticism. Give the ball to JT. Be effective, passing it. Don't turn it over, and it should be a good day for Tennessee. Now, let me know down below in the comments. Does Tennessee win this game? Is it Indy? Who do you see coming out with the victory? I want to hear from you down below in the comments. Appreciate you so much for watching. I hope that you subscribe for more videos in the future. We're so fired up that football is back. I'm still saying football is back. I'll be saying that until October when we're in week 5 at that point. But a couple of weeks ago, we didn't have it. So I appreciate you so much. Blitz with Blender, we try and spread energy, positivity, talk about the game in a way that gets you excited, even if your team is like Tennessee, they're 0-2. What are the positive sides we can look at? Be realistic and talk down in a sense that brings you back in to what the team is and the realistic expectations, what this thing can look like, and analysis that might be hard to hear, but overall, do it in a way that's a bit educational, that's entertaining, that's fun, and positive, because we have a ton of respect for these players and, of course, you guys watching. So I appreciate you so much, and I will see you next time. Thank you.
Best player in college football.
That Georgia and Ohio State game, New Year's Eve, is going to be a classic.
Josh Blunder. Hi, everybody. I'm Josh Blunder.
To the 40, 35, 30, Espinosa to the 20.